Let me describe a game to you. You spawn into a new and unknown world with the sun shining in your eyes. You look around and all you can see are trees and wild animals running about. In this game, you have to gather resources so you can make better tools and build shelter to protect yourself from the evils that lurk around the world you are in. Sound familiar? Well, the game I just described to you was Ark Survival Evolved. Now, let me describe another game to you. You spawn into a new and unknown world with the sun shining in your eyes. You look around and all you can see are trees and wild animals running about. In this game, you have to gather resources so you can make better tools and build shelter to protect yourself from the evils that lurk around the world you are in. Now, you are imagining Minecraft. But why? Well, there was one difference between the two descriptions I gave you, and it wasn't the word choice, but the music. The game description does not matter, but the game atmosphere matters, and I just proved it. Minecraft is the most popular game ever, but the concept isn't really original. In reality, it is just a sandbox game, like the many that came before and after it. So, why is it the most popular one? Did it just have better building? Or is it something a lot simpler that most people fail to recognize? Minecraft is a good game at its core, but it's not an all-time great by most metrics. It was the most advanced sandbox builder of its time, which certainly helped to cement its status in history. However, I think it wasn't even the biggest piece in the puzzle. At its core, it is represented with its title, mining and crafting. But what anyone can tell you, what truly made Minecraft special was the music. I want to show you why my title is true. Before we can analyze why the Minecraft soundtrack made Minecraft as popular as it is, we need to know how the iconic soundtrack came to be. C418 had always pulled inspiration from a few artists, and two main ones were Aphex Twin and Chris Clark. As a young boy, C418's older brother gave him some Aphex Twin CDs, and it helped shape and develop his music style. Aphex Twin is a much more ambient kind of music, and we can see its influences throughout the soundtrack. In 2008, there was a young C418 that was involved in a community called TigSource. That's where C418 initially met Notch, aka one of the original creators of Minecraft. C418 had been making music for a couple of years before this point, but this is the year he started collaborating with the Minecraft developers. C418 created the entire soundtrack and also all of the sound effects for Minecraft. C418 was a trailblazer in the indie game music scene because his soundtrack was a lot different from the industry standard of chiptune, which chiptune is the music was generated from inside of the game. C418 never really liked the chiptune sound and style, so he chose to deviate from the norm, and now we have one of the best ambient albums ever made. However, he ran into a problem, which was that the code in the game didn't really have a set point to trigger the music, so one of his challenges was trying to figure out music that fit with the entire game. This problem actually made Minecraft more memorable and emotional, which brings me into my first facet of exploration for why Minecraft's music is more important than the actual game. The almost random timing of the music makes the small things feel important, and it's why Minecraft continues to still amass an insane amount of players, and that is the nostalgia factor. Because this soundtrack plays during the most mundane moments of gameplay, it evokes a sense of nostalgia in the player, even when the music is heard in day-to-day life. This sensation comes from the consistency of the music throughout the gameplay, as opposed to reminding the individual of beating the Ender Dragon or finally finishing their starter base. The music reminds them of the person they were when they were playing Minecraft. When I hear Minecraft's many songs, I am transported to the feeling of being a kid, when life had no worries and when we were free of any burdens. That's why it's more important than the gameplay to me. Yes, the builds we all made as kids were nice to remember, but what actually drives the popularity is the remembrance of the vibes. This leads me into another way I think the soundtrack is more important because of the 2 week Minecraft phase. I think that people get the urge to have a 2 week Minecraft phase with their friends and or family members because of the soundtrack. Not to say the music causes the 2 week phase solely, but without the soundtrack creating these lasting feelings of nostalgia and longing for better times, there would be no foundation for the urge to play Minecraft again. Having gone through many of these 2 week Minecraft phases in my life, I can confidently say that Minecraft's strength is not in keeping you around forever, but always making you return. C418 created an atmosphere that people want to return to, and that's why so many people have these urges. Anytime you think of Minecraft, you aren't actually thinking of the game per se, but you're thinking of the feeling of Minecraft. You are remembering yourself as you were when you first punched a tree for wood, when you went into your first mine, when you made your first base, when you first learned that creepers are explosive, and when you heard the soft melodies that would define these moments and the soundtrack that makes you want to return to them time and time again.